Okay, welcome all. This is the first part of a two-part walkthrough of using the V.03 version of Studio Manager. This is an app to manage all the gear in your studio as well as build sessions, which are like setups. So if you're trying to plan out a live performance setup and you get the cabling right and match gear and such, then you can play in like a test environment sort of. So this part of the two-part is to look at the studio inventory side of things. The second part is looking at the session builder side. So to get going, you come into the app and this is what you see. So it's essentially a quick start where you can choose these major sort of functional components. You can also see them on the left-hand sidebar, standard Coda functionality. You can collapse that or bring it out the navigation panel as you need to. Going into Studio, you'll have deleted beta testers. You'll have deleted your or my inventory, so this will look quite a bit different. It'll be empty, but you'll enter your personal information here by clicking this button, which will say Add a Owner, add your personal information in, and that just gets tagged to like your insurance documentation. So it's like the address of your studio, wherever you're keeping your gear. And you'll see an overview of what kind of gear you have. So you can see I've got 43 items, 6 sessions, 1 performance preset, total value, and just some sort of dashboard type material of what you've got in your studio. The step to get going, though, is to add some gear. And so this is the form to add gear. What you can see is these are sort of 3 different steps. The first one being select the manufacturer. If you don't see them, you can click this button to add the manufacturer in. But right now it's pretty, well, it's really just what gear I have. So you'll more than likely have to add some manufacturers in for yourself. I'm going to put a digitone in though, which I acquired a month ago though, and still haven't added to this. So here we go. I select Electron. It shows me which Electron gear I have in the system already, so I don't accidentally add another Octatrack unless I've got double Octatrack like madness going on. So down here now I can put in Digitone, and then you can see, are you adding Digitone to studio inventory or are you just dreaming? And this is where you can select to add it to your studio inventory or your wish list, depending on whether you own it, like did you just buy it, or are you just like, trying to play around and you just want to have it that way. So right now I'm going to choose studio and it says add Electron Digitone to studio. Great. If I do that, it pulls out this form and now I can do a bunch more stuff. So what I'm going to do is secretly on my other screen find my picture of the Digitone. I'm just going to drag and drop it into that area, and it didn't go. That area. There we go. Okay, so there's a picture of my Digitone. I'm going to say it is hardware. It is and you can see you can scroll down to these categories, or you can just type. So this is nice if you don't see a category you want, you can type it and then just hit enter twice, and it'll be added to the list. But I see synthesizer there, and so I'm good. I'm going to hit enter, and now I can choose a subcategory. It's polyphonic. And I'm good. So this is for kind of your own insurance purposes. What kind of condition is it? Is there anything wrong with it? What's the current value? It's worth about 900 Canadian if I was to sell it. And it's all right. I kind of like it. I love it. Purchase date, purchase from, serial, warranty information. The power supply is a wall adapter. And here's the useful part, I'd say, for building out your sessions later on. And this is where you add the various ports that are on the synth. Now, I can't really remember. Again, I'm not too familiar with this piece of gear, but I think it has at least 1 audio input. You can always come back and change this later. 2 audio outputs. It's definitely got a headphone output. It's also definitely has I think I've got something running in the background here, so I'm going to, I have about 1,000 tabs running in the background. Okay, one MIDI port, one MIDI out, and one MIDI through. And then, I mean, I don't think it's got any CV gate. It definitely has a USB port though, and I'm going to say I'm done there. If you had presets you wanted to add in already, you can add them in here. You can add some notes, upload, so another drag and drop for the manual, and then any other attachments. Like if you really want to put a receipt or something for the gear, then you can add that into the attachment section. I'll also note that the image section will take multiple images, so if you want to put 4 or 5 different pictures in there, you can do that. When you're done, you just click X, and there it is. So it appears there. And now I go down, there's a cell gear that's kind of underdeveloped, but you can use that if you like. Your wish list is here, so any gear that you identify as wish list will show in this separate list. But then here's your studio inventory. So you can see all of the gear that you've got on the go. You can search by category. So right now everything's selected, but if I say just the drum machines, the only drum machine I have is the Octatrack, so it comes up. And I think I called it a sample, or I assigned multiple categories, so it's all these different categories. So it will come up when you say drum machine. You can go back in and select all again, and it'll all come back. And then you can reduce by manufacturer, you can search by gear name, and there it is there. And then if you want to clear all filters, you can do that. The next piece is this insurance documentation piece. So this pre-populates, you can see it updated the studio value now with that new piece of gear. And it's just going to be a full list of everything that you've got in your studio. So you've got the warranty information, the current values, and yeah, that's about it. If you want to print, printing in Coda is it's not so intuitive, but it's basically this 3-dot menu where you say print in PDF, and then you can either export it to a PDF or you can just straight print, and it'll pull it up, and you can see all of your gear there. So that's just like if you want a nice backup version on hard copy, then you can do that. And that's essentially it. So you built your studio, your inventory is all there, and yeah, so you can add presets. With this feature, add a preset, you can add a preset category. I'm not going to go through that. And then on this page, you can see your manuals. If you want to, for some reason, go to this instead of going to like your actual piece of gear, where if you go to your inventory and you say, oh, I really need to find the Octatrack manual because I'm curious, and you pull it up, you click on it, and it's there. So this is the nice thing about dragging and dropping your manual here, is it's actually embedded it as a PDF where I can now scroll through right within, and if I find something I like, I'm like, ooh, I didn't know that 2 workspaces are available, then I can copy that and go back up here to my notes and say 2 workspaces are available on whatever kind of page, 45 or whatever it was. Yeah, and you come back in, edit cards. These are called cards as you wish. So yeah, I think I'll cut it off there, and next video will be the more exciting one, which is the session builder. So you check that one out too. I'll put a link somewhere for that. So thanks for watching, and beta testers, best of skill.